Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Eyes podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman. And joining us this week, Michael Huber,
Sir Braun of the Blackwater,
Ben Moore,
Stannis Baratheon,
Brendan Jones,
the Onion Knight,
and Ian Hink making this all happen.
Cersei, I don't know.
Are these BBT references?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
just to be clear.
Man, I really thought we'd slip that under you.
Your BBT lore is too strong, Kyle.
If you notice my voice sounding like a little good,
Yeah, you
this
okay,
week,
Kyle?
Yo.
No. What?
What? You're about to break your own rule.
The Regis rule?
Yeah, what the heck?
Just
you
because,
said
like-
Regis never says when he's sick.
Yes.
You
No,
said
no,
to
no.
never do this.
Never complain about being sick.
Okay.
Because I do want to prepare
it.
people for me having a coughing fit in the middle of this podcast or cutting myself short or sounding weird. I'm not complaining. I'm happy to be sick.
I don't appreciate you not being straightforward with the audience, though. This is just, you're going to a BBT con, and this is you getting into character. And I know is your first time doing this, so.
I've been for real though, like I've been wanting to like talk softer on this podcast. I think sometimes I'm just like a little shrill.
just get closer to the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
and
that.
so like maybe okay, all right. It's time to play Glenny's Cauldron. This is where patrons send us ingredients that we're going to throw into Glenny's Cauldron. Glenny, of course, is our witch friend who is trying to make a most vile video game. Here's what our patrons are offering. Facsimile is selling. The game is fully voice acted, but only by one guy. And Chase Kruger is offering. Every loading screen is a bright blank white screen.
Loading screens for
Oh man,
sure.
those
Really?
are, those
Yeah,
are both
yeah.
fantastic.
Whoa.
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
the game being voiced by one guy could be entertaining.
Yeah, there could be some kind of like, I'd be proud of that guy.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a tour
Yeah.
de force.
Yeah, not to
that guy's gonna get nominated.
not to score some points with Jones here, but you know, Amanda Troop can voice multiple characters and crush it. So
Do you have a pen where I've done those
I,
points? That point total. I'll remember them. I'll remember those points.
Go ahead, Ian.
I was party to this actually. I voice directed AJ in that Schrodinger's cat game, and he was almost all the voices.
You're right. I think he was.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Bubsy 3D is all one woman. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna use our doubloons to buy the loading screen thing.
There's so many bad things about that. There's so many. I mean, obviously it's visually abrasive. No
Yes.
indicator whatsoever of anything that's loading. No tool tips. No like lore. No flavor of the world. No screenshots. Nothing.
And it's like the kind of thing where it's so bright and blaring that even when you look at your phone, you can still sense it right there.
Only if it
So you
like
can't
only if
really-
it clicks. If it fades in, no. It's gotta just appear and then click, go away.
Chase Kruger, we're buying. Thank you.
Yep.
There were a lot of submissions about loading screens. That's my favorite.
Okay, good.
Actually, Love and Respect last week was like, hey, if you are in that $5 tier, it's worth it just to read them. Like, there's so many funny ones. I bring like 6 and narrow it down right before we record. There are so many funny ingredients that I have to erase every week. Thank you, Chase. And thank you, Facsimile, for the offer. We're not buying. In regards to Glenny's Cauldron, so it sounds like Activision snuck into Capcom's Cauldron.
Right.
So, from Devil May Cry 5, they stole the thing where if you press start, it skips a cutscene in Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice.
It's still the blueprints because it still is in DMC5.
Okay, yeah. The recipe.
Yeah.
They stole the recipe. Unbelievable.
spell.
Please begin correction music, Jones. Okay, so Odo's actor, who we talked about last week, is that Deep Space Nine? Odo?
Yes.
Okay, so his name is Rene Auberjonois. Janois? I don't know.
Wah, I think.
Okay,
Wah,
Albert
yeah.
Janois. He voiced Dr. March in 2 episodes of Batman the Animated Series. That is the uncle of Man-Bat.
Yo.
Got it.
John Glover is the Riddler.
Lex Luthor's dad on Smallville is the Riddler. That's right.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
Cool. I thought he's done some other stuff. He's Renee has done a lot of VO. He's a very he went the Hamill route. You know, not as much live action now, but tons of VO.
Nice.
Odo, dude. We were not giving Microsoft enough credit last week and not giving Amazon enough credit in terms of cloud market share. So it goes Amazon first, AWS is first, Microsoft Azure, and then Google Cloud is third. So we're talking about Google Cloud having like the best infrastructure. It's like you're third, buds. You're behind Microsoft.
Were we talking that
baddies.
up? They were talking that up.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like someone said Amazon had the biggest.
I think we might have, but I didn't know that Microsoft is in between them.
And you brought it up, Ian. You were the one that asked, do you think
Yeah.
Amazon will compete with this as well? So
We talked about fights to the death. in video games, and how they get more exciting as they go on.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I thought in real life they would get sad as they go on. But somebody had a really good comment about adrenaline and how, like, when you were sensing that you were about to die, adrenaline comes in and you get super strength. And then I got cool with it suddenly. Like, getting a super in a fighting game makes sense.
Yeah.
Fighting to the death.
Yes.
In The Last of Us. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You are always fighting to the death.
You feel it. You feel the urgency.
The Google Assistant demo that was shown in the presentation last week was not Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it was Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh.
For reasons unknown.
Okay.
Finally, we have a new outlawed phrase. We already have 4, we're adding our 5th. HEYGOOGLE, outlawed, hereby. No one can say that phrase on this podcast.
Got it.
It was made clear to me through comments
Got it.
that it wasn't cute that I said that phrase many times. And correction music, please. And lastly, I want to do an update. I love updates. And to me, I don't even want to talk about this for a second. But US Gamer reported this week that Walmart is also talking to game publishers about their own streaming service.
Saw that.
Sure, buds.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Go for it.
What's GameFly up to these days?
Gamefly is awesome. Get those
Building their
discs.
infrastructure.
I rocked GameFly for many, many years. I'm just wondering if they can enter the
I see commercials still, dude.
Because I feel like they did do streaming for a little bit, but maybe I'm wrong in thinking that.
Hit us up, Gamefly.
There was Game Tap too. Remember that?
What
yeah,
if GT?
There were a lot of Game Tap ads, I remember.
They were GT. I remember when Game Tap first came out, they're
Yeah.
like, well, we're GT. I was like, you are you? Interesting.
Did Game Trailers outlive Game Tap?
I mean, if they're not around,
It's got to be close,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
Probably.
Missed Online shut down before Game
Yeah.
Trailers did.
Then Game Theory took over and we lost.
That's the new GT.
Yeah.
Even above Gran Turismo.
Carrying
If you
the
ask a
torch.
12-year-old, yeah.
True.
Kyle, can you give us a fantasy update?
Yes. So Ian had an incredible, Sekiro was, I think, your first round pick.
Yeah.
It did great. Huge points for Sekiro. I think it's like a 91 or 92.
It's in there, yeah.
Any point over 90, you get double points.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I gotta say that was a really good pick. I didn't have a lot of faith in Sekiro at the beginning of this year.
I was
in
worried.
January? Yeah. And so it felt like so unknown still. It felt like, why aren't people talking about Sekiro? And then it turns out it's still great. There was no cause for worry.
So what's the next game coming out that is one to watch for the Fantasy League?
I think I have Yoshi.
Okay.
I think I drafted Yoshi. It's me or Don. I don't think Ian would ever draft Yoshi.
So I don't fully understand how this works. Are you picking a range for Yoshi?
No.
Of what it'll...
Like the higher Yoshi's score
The
is, the
Metascore,
more
yeah.
points I get
Above
from my fantasy team.
Above 70, you get positive points.
Right. If it's below 70, they subtract points from you. It's a cool set. I love it. It is degenerate, Ben. It is very degenerate. I admit that.
Is that your favorite part? Is it degeneracy?
Yeah, probably, dude. Do y'all remember my favorite way to start a podcast?
Game announcements!
Game announcements. We have a few. We have more than I'm going to talk about because there's just so many over the last 7 days. I wanted to start with one, though, that I think has some enthusiasm at this table and maybe even the table next to us. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 was announced this week. Paradox Interactive Publishing, Hardsuit Labs developing. Tell me what this is.
The world of darkness.
I want to hear Ian just go off. Isn't this one of your favorite games ever, Ian?
Yeah, Bloodlines was great.
Okay, then go off.
Yeah, Ian.
Bloodlines, it's a vampire game. You can take many different tactics at it. I was reading about this one, and they were saying things like, they're making the claim that every game like this makes, but that you have crazy amounts of dialogue choices and that things you choose in the first 30 minutes will impact the end of the game, and you can't just go through the last door at the end, reload your save, and see the other ending. It's you have to replay the whole thing because all your choices are... And you get to do the character creator twice.
What do you mean?
You make your human first, and then you become a thin blood, and the first third of this game is sort of a character creator because you pick your background, your job, your all this stuff, and then when you're embraced, which is the Vampire the Masquerade version of being turned into a vampire, you do it again to pick your vampire stuff, and
That's pretty cool.
So about it, and it just sounds so cool, and other people are saying that they're gonna do really cool stuff with representation and that it's gonna be a cool thing. I don't know. It seems like they're taking a stance on stuff, which is interesting. I don't know. It sounds cool. I hope it's good and not bad.
Jones also loves vampire stuff.
I have more experience with Vampire the Masquerade, the
Tabletop game.
than the actual.
Nice.
So that's why this
Bloodlines.
thing
Like,
has so many titles. Vampire:
played-
the Masquerade
yeah.
is the tabletop game.
Yeah, and World
Yeah.
of Darkness is like the Dungeons and Dragons. That's like
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Thank you.
So that's also really exciting. Is that like all the systems, all the lore, all the rules, all of that's figured out already. It's just a question of like, who are we going to be playing? How much freedom we're going to have? Like what? And it's correct me if I'm wrong, but like, do we know what city it is? 'Cause-
Seattle.
Oh, it's Seattle. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like in our world. So it's not like you're in some
Yeah.
weird made up like DC city. It's not like Gotham or Metropolis or something.
And like the thing, sorry, Brandon, didn't
Sure.
mean to cut you off. I played the tabletop too, and so like I love in the game the character creator sheet. You can do it where you answer questions or whatever in the older one, or you can straight up just use the character sheet from the tabletop game. It's like 1-to-1. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's really exciting. Yeah, for me, obviously, from playing a lot of the tabletop, it'd be exciting if some of that stuff's brought in. One of my favorite things from playing it was if you create a character, you have to think of a vice. So there's something that you are going to do wrong that you cannot avoid. And mine, when I played, was I did not drink blood from anyone who looked like they made less than 6 figures. Like never. Like I have standards.
Did you come up with that, or was that from the
That
book?
was in. That was in.
I like
the
that.
thing. Well, it was like a classism type of
Brandon
thing. And
Jones.
that was how I
Yeah.
defined it because the DM's like you got to define it somehow, and I'm like 6 figures. And he was like, okay.
I tried to offer Jones my blood once. Wouldn't take it.
Yeah, no. But the Masquerade in Vampire the Masquerade speaks of this. That we have a really good thing going. Like most of the world doesn't know that monsters exist, that all this bad stuff is happening. If they did, there would be a panic. And so even though you have these houses, Game of Thrones style, of some of these vampires have been around for a really long time. Some of them are much more animalistic. Some of them are much more like the Lannisters, like often they're rich castles. And so they are quarreling. There's wars going on, but it never gets so extreme as to bleed out into the world so that they would see what's happening, because that's going to ruin the party, the masquerade for everyone. And so it's this really kind of fun, tenuous. That's why, like in the trailer, you've seen like it's all in back alleys, it's all in sewers, it's all out of the way, out of the sight of everybody. And so the shot in the trailer, this huge wave crashing in, is like, oh, like that would break the masquerade if that hit. People would
A
want to
wave
know
of
why the
blood.
heck there was a tidal wave in Seattle.
It was a tidal wave of blood.
in the hallway, but there's at the pier. You
Yeah.
can see like that's blood. You think in the ocean?
I think it's red, man.
All right. Corrections for next week.
Okay, corrections for next week.
But it's a very fun world, and what I'm hoping is that this is a game where if I want to be a very strong tank type character, speaking to Huber right there, I can just rush through this game, and I'm not, kind of not necessarily skip, because that's like developers hate to hear that, obviously, for they're putting that much writing and dialogue into it. But like, I'm not focused on the story that much. I really want to play this because the abilities you have look really interesting. And then you have someone who's like, I'm mostly going to get into like levitation. I'm mostly going to get into mind powers, and I'm really going to play on the lore side. I'm really going to, try to get through this game by manipulating people, lying to people, and that both people in like a Skyrim way can be playing two seemingly different games at the same time.
So it's like a first-person RPG like Skyrim, as opposed to an action first-person game.
And the Bloodlines was
sim.
definitely third person. I don't remember if there were first person views in Bloodlines, but the trailers
You can switch.
The trailer's primarily first person, which is weird.
You can go first or third.
Okay.
Oh, cool. All right.
So yeah, curious how that stuff plays out. But fun world, and there's the sky's the limit, I think, with that franchise, and the trailer's definitely selling up like it's back, and so like okay,
Yeah.
because that's you're saying a lot there.
The only time I'd ever heard of it is Ian talking up that game. That's like the only time, like, just what? You were saying 5 words as your favorite game, and I'm like, what is this game?
It's real good.
2020 is when that game will be coming out, so
Nice.
we'll see.
Got
So
time
we
to catch
can't
up.
draft it.
Yeah.
Bloodlines is $5 on GOG, I think. I read a headline.
Oh, hey.
Heads up though, if you get it on Steam or any of those, you basically have to patch it and hack your own copy to make it work. At least you did a year ago when I most
Whoa.
recently played it.
Okay.
You have to like download like unofficial patches to make it work.
That happened with us with some GOG downloads.
Yeah.
We wanted like army men to work even. We had to we had to go into the
Commandos,
code
I
and change
think.
a typo even. Like, it
Yeah.
was crazy, man.
But also, if you go back and watch like a Let's Play of Bloodlines, like it's probably going to be kind of tame. Like if you go back and just watch like any random moment in Knights of the Old Republic, like it might just be someone in a bar being
Talking,
like,
yeah.
"Where's the drink I ordered?" And you're like, "Well, you're like, this game looks terrible. This game looks really boring." And it's like it's that slow burn. It's the world. Same thing with KOTOR. It's like going to planet after planet planet, meeting new people, having these relationships, betraying people, and it's hard to tell just from a 30-second snippet.
Sure.
And so this, it would be interesting to see how they advertise it and how, if they try to play out big set piece moments or more action and
I just hope it
how
does.
it looks, how the engine runs.
I hope it does really well. One, for the Vampire the Masquerade fans, but two, just for the genre. It's just an underserved genre at all times. I feel like it's always on, on a what am I looking for? It's on
Thin ice.
It's on thin ice. Yes, thank you, bud.
On its last legs.
On its last, it always just feels like that. So I hope
Vampire was fun but problematic, and so it's like I
Not just
thought I was
vampires,
gonna love
but-
Vampire, and
Yeah.
excited about the world.
Cool reveal event, right? To have like a live audience to, like good for them and all that. Another live event last week was Nintendo's Nindies Direct. This is normally when we check out some indie games coming to the Nintendo Switch. Most of them not new, just like, hey, this game is also coming to Switch. You've seen it on Steam, but here now too. There was a game announcement at the end of this Nindies Direct that is unprecedented.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The game is called Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer featuring The Legend of Zelda. This is a Crypt of the Necrodancer sequel taking place in the world of Zelda, in Hyrule. You can just say Hyrule, I guess. Same gameplay, same character, Cadence is her name, but also Link and Zelda are there, and it's fully just a licensed Zelda game from an indie developer.
Kyle, I have a
wild.
very recent and relevant Crypt of the Necrodancer story.
Okay.
So I finished Sekiro at like 12:30 last night, and then I played a mission of Devil May Cry 5 on Son of Sparta. I played mission 12, and then I was like, well, I don't want to go to bed, but I need something less intense than what I've been playing.
Okay, I get
and so
that.
I downloaded Crypt of the Necrodancer and played it for the
So
first time.
fun, dude.
Only because like I'd heard about it and I heard that it was good, but the announcement of the Zelda stuff like really refreshed it in my brain and made me excited about it again, whereas otherwise I probably just would have forgotten about it just because it had been so much time. And so it was interesting to see like just the effect on that announcement, how that immediately made me want to play something I probably would have skipped otherwise. So
It's jolly.
Huber, you're into Necrodancer from the
Yeah.
past? I
We-
feel like you showed
we-
me the Shopkeeper before,
We
right?
streamed it at GT. I
Yeah, and
feel
it was
like.
hard for me. It was like it's you
It's
have
tough.
to.
it's a hard
tough,
game.
yeah.
It really
I never
takes
finished it. Not
yeah.
even close.
So it's a dungeon crawler where you have to move to a beat and I think attack to a beat as well.
Yeah, I said something like I needed something less intense, and I thought it was going to be less intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
It's music.
getting because your brain like wants to go and attack the thing, but you're also trying to keep the rhythm, and so you kind of need to merge those two ideas of constantly staying in the rhythm while avoiding the path of the enemy while going in and attacking. It's such a clever idea, though. I love it. Yeah.
The music is amazing. The
Yeah.
Shopkeeper, dude. I'm glad you reminded me
Yeah.
of that.
Oh, the singing shopkeeper, how he gets in
Yes.
sync with the song. Yeah, it's
Yes.
really really cool.
It's just pretty wild to me that maybe Nintendo's most guarded IP, I'm going to say more guarded than Mario, was handed over to an indie developer who made a great game. But there's been like Sonic Worlds, right? It was just like some DLC. It was like some extra levels. We've seen things. Never a studio this small getting an IP.
Is this a
big.
full-on sequel or an
full-on
add-on?
sequel? Because that's the thing. They originally pitched it as DLC.
Okay.
And so Nintendo saw it, apparently liked it so much, they're like, make it a whole game. We
Yeah,
love it.
did you hear
Wow.
the story of why this happened?
No.
Where I think it was Game Explain that I was listening to that was talking about this, where they were like, the developer of Crypt of the Necrodancer was like, yeah, there's not really any like pipeline that I went through. It was just kind of like a thing that happened because apparently like I think it was Miyamoto and Aonuma really liked Crypt of the Necrodancer, and so this got pitched as you were saying as DLC, and they were like, no, we want a full game with this
Wow.
property. And I like it just seems like it happened that like, hey, these really important guys liked your game and that's how you made this magical thing
What a
happen. I love
dream.
like special circumstances like
That's
that.
awesome.
Again, like I just remember like watching a video and listening to it. I can't like verify the heart. I didn't dig into this myself, but
That's really cool.
Jones, do you think we'll see more of this?
Of Zelda?
More of Nintendo shaking hands with any developers saying like, you insert our IP into your IP.
Yeah, I'm not as I don't know why I'm not as shocked by this. Like we
You're
did
not
get
shocked by this?
not so much. Like I know Hyrule Warriors wasn't an independent developer, but
Right.
like Zelda I think has branched out. Like we just got done with Smash Brothers, which obviously is like a core Nintendo property. But like I think we are seeing Nintendo doing a lot. Star Fox being in the crossovers with Ubisoft. Like I think they really are experimenting. All of this talk about synergy with the Microsoft. I'm just waiting for the next weird thing that they're going to announce.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like none of these things I think Nintendo's doing. You're like, no, you're ruining the brand. No, these things are sacred. This is, you've made enough money. They seem fun and it makes sense. And man, if you watch that trailer for this game, like you hear that music and it's like, oh, of course, this is a no-brainer.
A dance style of basically the Hyrule theme.
I think that's the thing that got me the most excited when I watched the trailer. It's like that music is kicking. It's really great.
Hey, that's kicking.
Yeah.
So like Yacht Club, right?
Yeah.
We know Nintendo loves Shovel Knight.
Well, I mean, everyone loves Shovel Knight.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to, Ben. I wonder if Yacht Club would be like, yeah, but we want to make our own. Like, it's this troubling thing where it's like a lot of game developers would want to make their own game,
Right.
And so I wonder if like Yacht Club would say yes. You know what I mean? I wonder if they're there.
Yeah, I get that. And then, like, if a creator said, like, oh, hey, it's an honor, but I want to make my own thing, I totally respect that. But I think about Shovel Knight specifically and how informed it is by Nintendo and a lot of things that came out on that platform, that I guess with Yacht Club specifically, I'd be surprised if they didn't take that chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, with what you're saying, I could see another developer being like, oh no, we want to do our own thing.
I want to fight Bowser in Shovel Knight.
It could happen.
It could happen. More than ever, that could happen.
You fight do you fight Kratos? And
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
The best.
It could happen.
I have to imagine their publisher relations is like their phone. After that trailer was revealed, that phone went crazy. Like, hey, we have ideas too. Please,
Yeah.
please, please. Though Aonuma and Miyamoto are not going to like every indie game. I'm shocked that those two people liked Necrodancer. That's so cool. They like gameplay.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about another live event. Oh, Brace Yourselves Games, by the way, is a developer. Shout out. And that's coming out this spring, that game. Good announced to release. Sony announced and held an event this week called State of Play. Now, State of Play turned out to be, you know what, we don't have to talk about what we speculated it would be. It's a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
It's a Nintendo Direct with no host. VO, game, 20 minutes about. What's up, Ben?
I'm sorry. I saw this thing on Twitter that I thought was like the perfect summation of State of Play. The original image is a picture of a real cat, and underneath the real cat it says Nintendo Direct, and then there's like some cat cake that looks like a kid made or something, where like it kind of resembles the cat, but it's clearly not right there.
That's what we're dealing with.
And that it has State of Play underneath that, and I was like, wow, that was a good summation.
Yeah, I mean, so coming into this year, Sony said, hey, we're not doing E3. We didn't do PSX. We just want to we just want to contact our fans, our fan base, the best way that we can facilitate that. This is the first sign we've seen of Sony doing something new since dropping out of those events. Was it good enough?
It was fine. I don't think it was bad. Like, I enjoy, and I think Jones was saying it too, I just enjoy hanging out together when everyone gets to see an announcement live at the same time. It's just like live TV. It's electric.
Yes.
It's a moment, So I think anytime the industry does this, I'm here for it. There's going to be times when you don't really like any of the announcements, and there's going to be times when it's just bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. So I think for a first one, it was cool because it just flew by.
The pace was great.
The
pace was
really
great,
nice
yeah.
pace, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So I think in the future, I think around E3 time, there will be naturally more pressure to announce like some bigger things or some more surprises. But in terms of the middle of March, the first one of these, I thought it was fine.
Sure.
I didn't particularly like it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the assumption is like, oh, you always have to have bombshells, or oh, you have to always talk about these big, high budget, you have to bring Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't feel that way. I just think the things they talked about them pretty badly. I think opening with Iron Man VR, I'm not necessarily against that. I think that could be a cool thing. I think that could be something that I'm excited about. But when your first thing
Yes, Ben.
and your first state of play that you do,
Yes, Ben.
and I'm staring at it, and pretty much the entire time it goes,
Say it.
it's not going to be like this. This isn't gameplay. You're just looking at something that this is like an interpretation of this thing. It just makes me feel awkward. It feels a little bit dishonest. It's like I can't get excited about this because I don't really understand what it is.
Yeah, I actually feel that opening was tricky. I think it was cruel because we are in an airplane. We have an AI hologram talking to us. Turns out that's Friday. Turns out we're Iron Man, and then just the first shot of gameplay, you realize immediately this is a VR game. You see it. You just see. I don't know. We're in the clouds. You see some HUD up, and you just see Iron Man shooting at these like Jax-shaped robots, like the old game that our grandparents played. Jones.
Yeah.
I went to watch that trailer earlier today. If you watch it on YouTube, it begins with a person putting on a VR headset. When Iron Man gets the suit on, it does the cool thing where it shows your face, and basically from Iron Man 1, you see the UI in a black sphere.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It didn't lie to us. Well, I don't know if it lied. It feels like they removed a truth from the beginning of this trailer to
really
get us
weird.
excited off the top.
And it wasn't just Iron Man VR like that for me. They talked about this kind of like colorful and cartoony Diablo-like game, and
Yeah, the animals one. Man, I don't have that written down.
yeah, and the reason I think part of the reason it doesn't stick with you is like just the way that they talked about it was very general, boring language of like you're gonna have an epic time with your friends, and it's just like it's cool that these games are getting attention where like this is maybe a new space that you're carving out to talk about things that wouldn't otherwise take up space, but I think if you do that, you gotta make them stick, and you gotta. I sometimes I was watching these things, and I'm not really sure what the hook is. I'm not really sure like why I should be invested, and so I think they could have just talked about them a little bit better, or presented them better somehow.
I get that.
Each has to be a news item.
Yeah.
And that's what directs have evolved into. I can't say every direct has ever done this. I've definitely watched some frustrating directs, but every one of those blades that slides by in every upcoming state of play, it needs to be. Oh, I didn't know that. And there was nothing, I didn't know that about Days Gone at all. Like there was no, that's a new mode or you're teasing some DLC or something. And if you can't do that, maybe remind me that it's happening in 30 seconds and then move on. But don't
I get what you
do
mean.
this huge
That's-
drama. What they were selling is that, I don't know if you knew this, but Days Gone is a sad story. And you're like, I knew,
Yeah.
Even the shot of him spinning around with the shotgun, it's like, I've seen that in another trailer. It was a weird thing. It felt like, it was like, here's the Days Gone slot, and then we'll just put whatever in that. So yeah, that's like the trick that they have to solve. Is
Somebody worked 3 months on that trailer.
it's a great trailer. It
Yeah.
just didn't.
I get what you mean, though.
And
I get
people
what
worked
you're
really
saying.
hard on that Iron Man game, and I'm sure that Iron Man game is really exciting. But it's
Yeah.
like, and there was nothing wrong with Sean Layden and crew sitting down on couches to talk about their games. Like all these things are fine. Like inherently by themselves, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just Sony seems to be really having a problem with like anticipating how their audience is going to react to things, and it's strange. It's really weird, because they used to be so dynamite at that, and they hit just a couple of Grand Slam home runs this gen.
Well, they got lucky,
unlike
man.
anything I have never seen before.
Yeah.
We were talking about the God of War orchestra and how that that started as a joke from Barlog, and then some other team people on their team ran with it because they knew. They're like, please listen to drums. Like, this crowd's gonna go nuts. Half of them's gonna know it's God of War. Half of them's not. And then when we
that's
finally
the
do
thing,
the reveal,
Jones.
everyone's gonna be in that
Not
place. emotionally where we
everything
want
can be
them.
a 10 out of 10. There's only so many games that
Correct.
can be produced with hundreds of $1 million
Yeah.
from all these people. Like, we saw some games in 20 minutes.
Right.
It was fine. It was okay. I loved.
You tell us how long the presentation is. You
Yeah,
tell
but I
us
think
how
we're
many
just trying to
games
say
you're going
how-
to introduce. You don't open with Iron Man. You don't even show Days Gone if there's nothing else to show. You like Mortal Kombat nailed it because
Yeah.
there was new
Yeah.
stuff. We saw
True.
new
Yeah.
characters and new outfits and new moments.
Yeah.
It seemed like the perfect time for that Mortal Kombat trailer.
I want to talk about the Mortal Kombat trailer, Jones, because it really speaks to what you're saying, where what Mortal Kombat is selling with its story mode is this mixture of old and new, and the entire way that it presented that trailer, where at the beginning it had that old song and you were focused on the old character, and then it switched and it really felt like, oh, okay, I really get this concept in a more cohesive way than I have in the past, and it's exciting, and I'm really seeing what you're trying to sell. And yeah, man, I agree with you. Like, not everything needs to be a 10 out of 10 or presented the same way. I think it's just like, when you have that feeling of like, I want to care more than I do, how can this be better? Like, how can we show this off maybe in a little bit more effective way?
True.
Ready, Set, Heroes, the name of the animal game. We got you, Ready, Set, Heroes.
Looked fun.
Yeah.
It looks fun. FUN.
You had me at spinning attack.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I like upgrading armor on a weird little bear creature. Sure.
Fun. For sure.
I kind of wanted to touch a little bit more on the Iron Man game. Developer is Camouflage, who made Republic, which also had a VR mode. Bloodworth astutely pointed out, looking at the box art, Iron Man's in the clouds. This entire trailer was in the clouds. We have no reason to believe that this entire game will not be in a bunch of clouds where you can't even see the surface beneath you.
Has a really nice box. The cynic in me is like, they made this game to put that box on store
So
shelves.
glad we have Huber here to
Yes.
talk about
Marvel,
this.
Iron Man, like VR.
You found the positive,
You see it on the shelf. Oh, Iron Man VR.
Yeah.
You know, it just makes sense. But yeah, the game itself looked okay.
Another thing from the Nindies Direct I forgot to remark on, that was huge news at the time. Cuphead will be coming to Switch in April, very soon.
Any new stuff, or is it?
There might be new stuff, dude. I
Well,
think
that
they
DLC
said,
is on the way still.
yeah, but I think they said there will be some like day one thing.
Bowser.
Yeah, I bet some Nintendo reference or something. But I mean, we had, it's funny, we had like covered that. It was like the least exciting part of when we were talking about Game Pass being on the Switch, and we're like, oh, and also they'll publish on the Switch too. Probably Ori, probably Cuphead, and then we moved on, right? And so it's a bummer when something huge like this does happen. It's like, yeah, old news. We already thought that.
1930s animation Bowser would be pretty amazing as a boss fight.
Really quick, I want to talk about the conference. One last thing on my
Okay, back to
end
State of Play.
is
If we
like-
have blades, we're like shuffling
Yeah.
back and forth.
it's like, how do you give the lesser games, the lesser budget games, or the ones that people are naturally not going to be as interested in, how do you present those in an interesting way? What's the answer, Jones?
Nintendo
What do
does
you-
it.
Like,
Nintendo
what
does
do you
it, dude.
do
It's-
for something like Iron Man VR or the Ready Set Heroes game? Like, what do you? Because people, you know, you watch like Twitch chat and stuff, and you know everyone's here for the Dino Crises and the
I mean, I
the
think
God
it-
of Wars. Like, what is?
I think it varies game by game, right? So something like Grease, where like you just watch that trailer and it's like, okay, I don't need somebody to explain this to me. I don't need somebody to present this to me. Clearly, the star of this game is how it looks, and so you just have a really impactful trailer just by doing that. But admittedly, if you have something that I think we've seen a lot, like if you have a game where you're going through a dungeon, killing things and collecting loot,
Yeah.
it's like, you can't just say that's what your game is. You know, there are thousands of those. And so I think you have to find a way to kind of, you have to be aware of that, and you have to find a way to highlight whatever the strength of your particular game is. But it's tough. It's not a science, and I'm
Yeah,
not a.
and
There's
So-
no
marketing
equation
guy.
for every
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
It totally depends on what style it is, what expectations are going into it. As an established franchise, it goes on and on and on. That's why I'm obsessed with ads, because there's no right answer. There's no one thing. Even if you see somebody do something really well, it's hard to even translate that into your project if it doesn't make sense.
The hot goss of this day, is that there will be 2 new versions of the Switch this year.
Yeah.
Talking hardware. So this all dropped firstly with the Wall Street Journal. You got a sub. You got a sub
Professionals.
there if you want to read that article. That there would be 2 models coming up. Eurogamer kindly checked with their own sources and their own reporting, so I got a lot more
Shout
details
out.
on this. Yeah, shout out to Eurogamer. A little more detailed. So think of the 2 Switch models. I think we all have an idea of what that would be, right? A light one and a beefy one. And that's pretty much the reality of this. The example that they used is 3DS spawned into 2DS, the big chunky thing that doesn't even do 3D anymore, and the 3DS XL, new 3DS XL, which had like slightly better processing power. Like,
Well-
you can play some games you couldn't play.
Yeah, there was also the weird thing of like, hey, do you want these Super Nintendo games on Virtual Console? You can only play them on
I
new
forgot about
3DS.
that too. Yes.
And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think them selling a cheaper Switch makes a lot of sense to me, but I wonder what the pitch is going to be for the more expensive one.
Yeah, all that's been promised is that slight performance boost and then nothing else. The one that becomes cheaper, that's cheap in interesting ways, they're removing HD Rumble. It's gone.
Whoa.
You don't need it. Who needs that?
Would you get a new
expensive.
Switch if Breath of the Wild has more grass?
I'm getting this thing no matter what.
But there are games that rely on HD Rumble, and so is the situation in that case like...
Oh, like 1-2 Switch is just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
so it's just like, hey, don't worry about those games then, or
There's a potential that it's portable only as well. That there is some way to dock it in, but what you buy in the box is a portable only thing, perhaps. So yeah, Ben, we're looking at a lot of loss of functionality. Some games will become unplayable.
What if it was like 200?
Yeah, dude, it can be so cheap.
Yeah.
Get rid of HD Rumble. That thing's a hundo on its own.
I would love, and maybe this is out there, I would love the statistics of like the games that people play by demographic. And so if you have a young demographic where it's like, okay, they might try out a couple of things, but they're primarily playing Fortnite. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. Like, you could maybe just lean into selling it as a portable Fortnite machine. I don't know.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Jones, would you upgrade?
I'd want to.
Will you?
I don't know if it'll be in my budget, but I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't know if there's any game coming out at that time that it's like, oh, this might be the time to do it.
Yeah.
To maybe see comparison-wise.
It's going to be marginal, man. It's
But-
going to be like a slightly
That's
better
the thing,
frame rate,
because
right? It's gonna be
Nintendo isn't known for being a powerhouse machine graphically. So yeah, it'd be a pretty hard sell. It would have to be something like, a Zelda or something where it's like, all right, it's running at 60 on the upgraded one and like 30 on the normal, like a huge difference like that. Then it's like, okay,
but it won't be that.
I actually don't. I mean, here's what they did with the DS and 3DS is they leaned heavily into special custom designs.
I bought a few 3DSs in my age.
Right.
Yeah.
You bought it because it was
Zelda
a Sweet
one.
Majora's Mask one or whatever it was. I wonder if we're at the point in the Switch's life cycle where you'll do something like that. Obviously, it'll look different because it's not the flip.
And we're only on our third year of Switch.
Yeah. But I mean, could you envision, a Breath of the Wild 2 with a crazy Switch bundle coming out that is the more expensive?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So.
What's really funny, Ben, is I wonder if, like the 3DS, it'll be like, hey, Super Nintendo games, they can only run on this thing.
Well, what if they do that?
Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't, right? They wouldn't do it with like GameCube.
The old Switch isn't powerful enough. We can't do it. This new Switch, though. I know. I would love that.
And you're
though.
like I don't want to even say that it's a possibility because it doesn't make any sense, but yeah.
Apparently, we'll hear about it at E3, and we'll be looking at those consoles by the end of the year.
Wow.
Last thing I wanted to touch on is it's funny in reference to last week when we talked about Google and its gaming services. Apple announced they're doing a gaming service, and it's very different from Google's. First of all, they didn't tweet at us and say, watch us for the future of gaming. Apparently, you have to. Apparently, Google was sending that only to developers, from what I understand from the comments, that we weren't supposed to watch that. So Apple, they have this event. I'm going to read what they call this on their site in fairness. I read Google's site and how they describe themselves. I'm going to read you how Apple describes themselves. It's called Apple Arcade.
Hey, Apple.
150 plus games. iPhones, iPads. Games that redefine games. Play over 100 groundbreaking new games where storytelling and design are pushed further than ever before. All in a gaming service unlike any other. Apple Arcade hits the App Store this fall. Let's play.
Kyle?
The voice
The voice
made me
It's a little unfair,
No.
so Angry.
I know it's the voice. It's not fair.
I don't think it's just the voice.
The
I
language.
think that's what it would sound like if
Yeah.
my dad was in charge of coming up with like the wordage of the Apple Arcade. That's nothing. It's just a bunch
You're
of
right,
nothing.
You're right.
Boilerplate.
And this is not the market that runs on nothing. Like we don't run on hype. We don't run on like these are going to be the games that game more than other games. And you're like, go on. It's like, no, I am really happy with my hobby. I am overflowing with quality interactive content in 2019. You're going to have to blow my mind for me to not only stop playing Sekiro in Division 2 right now and play something else,
Yeah.
but for me to adopt to a whole new service with a whole new account. Or, I mean,
So yeah,
I'll probably tune in. I've already got an Apple account, so it'll all sign, tune into that.
I was just gonna say, like, Apple's made it clear time and time again that we are not their target demographic. Like, they don't want video editors anymore because they killed Final Cut Pro. Like,
Right.
we're too expensive. They
Okay.
just want
People with
who
iPhones.
buy iPhones and buy apps and play Angry Birds and that kind of stuff. Like, that's what they're about.
But are the people that play
That's
Angry
that's
Birds
an error. You use it
excited
for
about the
writing.
future of gaming? You know what I mean? Like, is that going to sell them? Or are they literally just going to scroll through the store and grab? Are they even
Okay.
going to notice?
Yeah, I got
this
you
thing
some more
launches?
details. Jones, I got more details for you. So, basically, it's not a live service like Google's is. You download the games. You can play this offline. It is on the App Store, right? So on your Apple TV, on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your Mac, your tabletop, your desktop. You'll be able to just go kind of like how the NES games work on Switch. Just a huge library right there. Just pick it, download it, play it. They have a large exclusive library. I don't think it's exclusive to PC or consoles. I think it's exclusive to not Android, basically. They want like the phone market for these games. And the pitch, what they say is different about Apple Arcade than anything else is quality. And I gotta say, I watched their trailer and I'm a little convinced. I'm like a little into it.
I need to watch this trailer.
So, do you remember Game Awards? There was a trailer for the next game from Abzu, Giant Squid, where you have like some eagle and you're running around. They showed that as like their top game on their website. I should actually just find that. They showed like who made all the bad Final Fantasies? 1 through 6. Who was that?
Hironobu Sakaguchi.
Yes.
I know. I'm
Take
joking.
it back. Yeah. This
Take
is
it back.
unacceptable.
Take it back.
Thank
The
you, Ian.
Pathless. Oh yeah, Pathless is the bow jumpy jump forest game. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was kind of cool to like
Did you take
focus
it
on
back?
that. Yeah, dude, I'm
Okay.
just a nasty troll. So
Okay.
Sakaguchi's got a new game they're working on. Kind of interesting where they're like photographing
I didn't know
models
this.
and then like the
Yeah,
characters
I'm
run around. Worth watching the trailer. It's worth going to the Apple Arcade and seeing what they're presenting. It was very game focused and I actually like kind of liked the sell.
Okay, so Kyle, you're kind of teeter-tottering me.
Yeah.
You read that thing in that voice, and I was like, way down here.
Yeah.
And now I'm tipping back over. But I just, I think about the experiences that I've already had playing games on Apple devices, and the thing that I think is hard for me is every once in a while, something will kind of bubble up through the noise, and they'll be like, hey, this is really good, check it out. And I'll play it, and it'll be a cool little phone game, and I'll be like, hey, you were right. And then the other 99% of the time, it's just a bunch of trash that isn't trying to be anything really
Yes.
above trash. And
Yeah.
so it kind of like it makes that ecosystem really easy to tune out because it just is so overwhelming. It feels like it's an effort to find the good stuff.
So I might teeter-totter you back the other way even harder. It's rumored that we don't fully know. We don't know how much it'll cost, first of all, just like Google. We also don't know how these developers will be paid. And rumor has it, or maybe fear has it, that they'll be paid by how long we spend playing their games.
What is the evidence for this?
I don't know. I think it was just somebody on Twitter is just like, I don't like this because of this. I don't like how streaming is going to change the monetization of
Okay.
games because it's just going to be about how long you're playing.
Was it David Brevik?
Not sure, dude.
Okay.
But I mean, like that's like the Spotify model, right?
Right.
That's like, hey, these people like your song. They played your song this many times. Here's your money. Sorry. Bloodhound Gang. Sorry, nobody's listened to your songs this week. You get $0.
Because see, to me, that doesn't promote quality. That just promotes, all right, how do we figure out this system? To
There's the other problem with quality on mobile devices. Like, I love mobile gaming. I probably soak up more mobile gaming, I think, than any other ally.
All of us combined.
And every time I've played a dynamite standout top tier mobile game, it had nothing to do with the platform it was on at all. it was just a good game, you know. It just stands out. You look at all the mobile games was nominated at the Game Awards, like none of those were like Apple's like, we got this, you know. It was like, no, it was an amazing developer, had a really clever idea. And even games that Her Story I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of, but like what a genius idea. And that was just a cool development team doing it. So when you have a company come along talking about iPad and mobile, and they're like, no, it's really the payment structure. It's really the, you know, the work we're doing that's exciting. It's like it's a strange
I kind of buy
sell
it
for me in terms of like we're guaranteeing you quality. It's like they're all going to be hit or miss. There's nothing you can do about it. Like there's no way I'm going to like, you know, all of these games or maybe any of them. You know, that's the joy of mobile. I will just have a lot to select from. I can really just only pick my very specific category, and there are 500 games available.
I'm sorry, what was the other game? Sayonara Hearts, right? Do you remember that trailer? That's also going to be an exclusive to this platform. So I think that like
on phones, you mean?
On phones, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what's weird is like
I
the
played that on a Switch.
Go ahead, Ian.
I played that on a Switch at a preview at Annapurna that we should have a video going up sometime.
Okay. How is it?
It's cool.
Yeah. So let's say you're making that game and you're releasing it on Android and iPhone. I bet it's dead in a day. I almost think that even if people are going by how long you're playing your game, you're making more money through the Apple Arcade than you would otherwise, because that store is ridiculous. The Android store is ridiculous. And so I almost do see it as a way for lower budget studios to continue to make wild, weird games.
But this is a service that you're signing up for, right?
Yes.
And this is true of everything, so not to like single Apple out, but it's just getting to a point in my life where like more and more companies will be like, sign up for our new thing, sign up for our new thing.
I'm not ditching my Crunchyroll subscription.
Right, and so it's like you're not only like competing with all of these other new initiatives that are cropping up all over the place.
Yeah.
You're competing with things that I've already been paying for, and like I can only pay for so many things per month.
Yeah.
Like this is getting a little ridiculous, I think.
It's weird they showed so many games, though, because everyone told me it was unrealistic to expect Google to show games. And I got to assume all those comments were right.
Sure.
So, you hear that? Do y'all hear that? Oh. It sounds like it's podcast halftime.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of March. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. The Able Gamers Foundation, a non-profit charity that aims to improve the overall quality of life for those with disabilities through the power of video games, creating opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. The link to donate is in the description. El Fanis. Car Keys Express. They continue to offer replacement car keys for less than the dealership and remain proud sponsors of Easy Allies. Use the coupon code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. Check them out at carkeysexpress.com/store. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Or at least that Good Business Lawyer's YouTube and podcast series, Virtual Legality. This week in Virtual Legality, Hogue discusses The Division 2, analyzes the effectiveness or lack thereof of Google Stadia's announcement, looks at the future of Star Wars and electronic arts, examines the business motives of Sony cutting GameSpot out of digital game sales, and talks about what effect Apple's arcade subscription service will have on mobile development. Phew! Check it all out at youtube.com/HOEG Law or on your favorite podcast service. The Hashcast, a weekly podcast by the Hashtagonists that aims to highlight the people behind the products and content that bring us joy. Every week, professionals from the gaming, movie, and tech industry share their stories to provide you with some unique insight on their careers, their passions, and why they love doing what they do. Whether you have an interest in game development, animation, or just want to hear all about how Able Gamers is making the world a better place, the Hashcast has an episode for you. Check out the latest episode with Stephanie Williams, a Twitter genius and writer for Sci-Fi Wire. This episode digs into her inspiration to become a writer and how comic books didn't provide her with enough superheroines that looked like her, so she decided to add one to the world herself. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to scroll down the playlist to find more stories from amazing people. Fangamer, makers of officially licensed merchandise for games like Dark Souls, Hollow Knight, Undertale, Katamari Damacy, and Persona 5. Not to mention, Easy Allies t-shirts. Their newest products include the Hollow Knight Collector's Edition for Switch, PS4, and PC, a Prince and Katamari magnetic plush, and a Metaton EX posable figurine from Undertale. Check out their store at fangamer.com. Mango. And our mega sponsor, Riverhorse. Did you know that there are over 54 applications on the Now platform? How about the fact that there are 2 major releases each year? Are you ready for the Now platform Madrid release? ServiceNow was named the world's most innovative company of 2018 by Forbes. With over 4,000 customers across all industries, their Now platform has become the way to make work better, transforming old manual ways of working into modern digital workflows so employees and customers get what they need when they need it fast, simple, easy, creating great experiences and unlocking productivity for employees and the enterprise. The Now platform introduces a wealth of job opportunities. If you're just coming out of school and are looking to advance in your career, there are many official ServiceNow courses that can help jumpstart your options. With Riverhorse, you will learn to master ServiceNow capabilities through hands-on, real-world instruction. As an authorized training partner, our education advisors are able to teach over 12 official classes. We offer both public and private classes to suit your needs. Come learn how to kickstart your career in the high-tech world. Have you signed up yet for the Knowledge 19 conference in Vegas from May 5th to 9th? Riverhorse will be teaching in the pre-conference training and hosting several events throughout the week. If any of the allies will be in attendance, feel free to reach out to us on Twitter or email so that you can join us at our company events and get some free swag. We are proud to support the Easy Allies and look forward to supporting all allies that work in the IT industry. Look us up at www.river-horse.com. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Good work, Jones.
Woo, 2 things.
Okay.
That I need to say. One,
Bring it on.
Able Gamers is a charity donation that was from someone who was not from Able Gamers but wanted us to mention them.
A gifted sponsorship.
And this is a very important podcast, gentlemen. We are saying goodbye to a sponsor that's been with us for a very long time. That is the last time. For the foreseeable future, they might come back. But in the next episode of the Easy Allies podcast, I will not be saying the name Mango.
Thank you, Mango.
Mango, since with us from the very beginning, easily one of the top 5 sponsors of Easy Allies financially, and just a tremendously nice guy. He was at the concert this past weekend at our anniversary. I was like, can I say something? And he was like, I mean, you don't have to. I'm like, my goodness, man, it's been 3 years. You've been supporting us. And he wanted to say, he's like, it might not be permanent. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's giving us
Putting
a lot
on
of money
pause.
just because he likes us.
Is Car Keys Express #1? That's
totally
what
understand. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah,
I don't know. We don't rank them, but yeah.
We don't pick winners here.
I do want to make it clear also that I think I was kind of like standing for Apple Arcade, just like Huber and Ben. Like, there's no way I'm going to pay for that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm subscribing to another dumb thing.
I think also, just very quickly, you're
Yeah.
dodging the most, I think, the most standout moment from that Apple event to me that was despicable.
What?
And I hate to say this about this person because I
Despicable.
respect his work so much.
What is this? What's
But
happening?
Steven Spielberg is off the rails right now.
Tell me what he did.
Steven
Was
Spielberg
that
came
this?
out. Steven Spielberg came out and basically said Roma should not have been nominated for an Academy
Oh,
Award. He
yeah,
said
that was
At the
garbage.
Apple event, or you
No.
mean in interviews?
He was like making a campaign and
No
saying
Netflix,
that
right.
unless your film has a theatrical release of at least a couple weeks or 2 months or something, you should not be nominated for an Academy Award, which on its own is completely ridiculous.
Yes.
And then turns around and walks on stage and is like, streaming is the future at the Apple event. And it's like, within a span of like a week.
That's amazing.
It is one of the most tone-deaf things I've ever seen in my entire life. Like literally give that man the Platinum Award for Bad Optics of 2019. I was blown away. That's it. I'm gonna, we don't need to go on and on about it, but woo.
Kyle, so as you mentioned, like, hey, but for real, I'm not paying for that.
Yeah.
I find one of the most difficult things in podcasts is like you're listening to what the other people are saying, and you're like, well, wait, what about this? And so you present that what you think is another side of it, and
Yeah.
it looks like you're super for it.
Exactly,
When
yeah,
you
yeah,
may
yeah.
not be.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're necessarily like
Yeah.
for or against something. You're just trying to keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
I felt it was like overly so just then.
Well, and I'm straight up addicted to mobile games, so I'm sure I'm gonna, probably bite on this one.
I love the way that you talk about UML games. Like, yeah, I'm a drug addict, but
This is just right there.
Jones, no microtransactions in any of those games though.
I do have a question actually, Kyle, about
Can you
that.
spread those out?
Yes.
Because Apple, they've got the iTunes tax or whatever. They take like 30% or whatever on everything on the iTunes store. Did they say the rev share model for the developers for this?
No, that's why we're wondering if it's going to be per hour. We don't know what the
Right.
rev share is going to be.
Because, Apple's going to take a chunk.
They're taking a chunk. But I think it might be like a big chunk of something as opposed to nothing. I think that's
Yeah.
my best theory on like.
The last time we did this, Jump Force was also in it. I'm curious what's going on here.
Oh, was Jump Force February?
I just remember us
Jump
ranking.
Force was February.
I just remember us ranking Jump Force for something.
For sure, dude.
I don't even know.
think so.
I don't know what we're doing. So
I think Jump. Okay, so we're playing the NPD is right. We have 5 games that launched in February. We have to determine the order in which they appear on the NPDs.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty easy.
And this is
Yeah.
analysis of video game sales in the U.S.
Get that
is
down
number
there.
one.
Give me
Okay, so
Crackdown
Jones just
3.
This
touched
is number
Metro
1.
Exodus.
Read them.
Yeah, well, Metro's 2 then, right? Probably.
Jones wants to put Metro Exodus number 2. Anthem is easily number 1. Nobody's
number
doubting it.
1.
I actually think Jump Force did okay.
Jump
Yeah.
Force is moving to the middle. Far Cry
Yeah.
New Dawn is number 4 currently, and Crackdown 3
Yeah.
number 5.
Yeah, because it's an exclusive. It's an exclusive.
Yeah.
I wonder.
I'm super cozy with this.
I wonder if this,
I wonder
man.
if we
Yeah,
do this.
yeah,
I
I think so.
So in a last-second move, Ben swapped Jump Force for Metro
think so.
Exodus.
Yeah.
Far Cry
I mean,
above
we're not.
Exodus?
We're just rating these on sales, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Dude, maybe
Just the
a
MPDs.
swap
I think I was thinking maybe
Metro
that's-
sinking further.
Yeah.
Let it be known. I thought it was 2.
Yeah, Jones started this by
the reason
pushing
I say
Metro.
that is I know I haven't seen people hot on Far Cry New Dawn. I haven't played it myself, but I wonder if the Far Cry name was more than Metro, but Metro reviewed a lot better. I think.
You swap it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we ready to lock in?
I'm comfortable.
ready with
I'm
you.
very
Yeah.
comfortable
Okay,
with
all
this.
right, all right. Here we go. We locked
Can we
them
go
in.
through the order one more time?
Okay, so right now, current order: Anthem. Beneath that, Jump Force. Beneath that, Metro Exodus. Beneath that, Far Cry New Dawn.
Only $40.
Beneath that, Crackdown 3.
Well,
Does dollar amount
I did
matter?
see an ad last night for a limited time. Far Cry New Dawn is now $20.
Whoa, dude.
Oh, really?
So,
You saw that last night?
I
Jones
saw-
is in.
I don't know if it was last night I saw that.
Jones is in now.
Yeah.
Don't have time to play it, but I'm buying it.
It's only like 10 hours, Jones.
We're
Quickie.
restating
That's
it
right.
every month that MPD is by revenue, Huber. So it is harder to rank with a $40 game.
Got it.
We feel good?
I feel good
I
about
mean,
this.
I don't know.
All right, we're locking them in.
I feel really strong.
Anthem is correct at number 1. And that's also not counting any PC sales. Got number 1, sold a bunch of copies. It did it.
I'm hoping Metro's number 2.
Number 2 is Jump Force.
Jump Force.
Wow.
Never bet against anime. Jump Force just
Right? Fair. Okay.
never do it.
Okay.
Number 3, Kingdom Hearts 3. The next ranking game though is Far Cry New Dawn.
Metro.
We were
Wow.
torn. We were torn. We were torn.
If you want to find Metro, that's number 8.
Metro should be
It's
number 1.
unacceptable.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
The top 10 though, still.
Yeah. Do you have a guess of where Crackdown 3 is?
Oh, then just numerically.
Yeah.
18.
12.
20.
Not listed. Not in the top 20.
I love that Ian didn't hit the mic, but I still heard him.
Yeah, there's a.
And like I won't hear it. I know it was on Game Pass, right? I know like it's a digital sales must have been huge or whatever. But so was Pirate Game.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. And Sea of Thieves
So was
ranks
Pirate
on the
Game.
NPDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the crazy thing is? There's still going to be a Crackdown 4. Like,
Do you think so?
yeah.
Oh, I don't know,
It
John.
just seems like a franchise. It's just going to keep going.
I don't know about
don't
that.
They're
know
not
about that.
scared of sales.
Yeah, clearly not. Yeah.
Terry Crews doesn't care about NPDs.
He does not.
He's here to blow up buildings, man.
It's time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
I feel like Rufus is as sick as I am today.
Yeah, he sounds like I feel, man.
That was
You
crazy.
probably caught it from Rufus.
Huber, I just want to say before we continue with Love and Respect, I wasn't like mad at you for the state of play thing. It was just like a
What?
friendly disagreement.
I blame Huber.
Okay.
I
I just
didn't-
wanted
I
you to
didn't
know
get
that like I
any-
wasn't like
I didn't get
trying
any
to be
hostile
okay,
tones.
cool.
No.
I bet when they planned Iron Man for the beginning of that,
No
they were like,
hostile tones.
Huber will like it.
Disingenuous is the word I was looking for.
Oh yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah.
I feel like they were really misrepresenting that game by not showing the VR thing first.
They were
I'm
misrepresenting
biased when
Marvel
it-
by showing the Marvel logo and not showing.
I'm
like,
just
the-
biased
the
when it
game
comes to
report.
getting together on the internet or in a room and like watching something.
I hear you, man.
Yeah,
You know,
I was thinking
that's
about
just-
it, and I was like, you watched it live with the other allies,
Yeah.
right? Like, I probably would have been more favorable on it in those circumstances.
And I
but
would have
was
been
just-
way more negative if I
Yeah.
had watched
So,
it like
yeah.
after the fact, you know.
Here's
Alright,
a crazy game.
Cool.
Yeah, no hostility.
Hello, allies. Everyone groaned when the CEO of Google made a joke about knowing the difference between NPCs and RPGs at the Stadia GDC keynote, so I wanted to put the allies up to the test. Do you know if these names are NPCs or RPGs?
Okay.
Artemision.
That's NPC.
It's an NPC.
That is an NPC.
Sure.
Do you know what series from?
Yeah.
Final
Everquest.
Fantasy. Final Fantasy.
Okay,
Apparently,
yeah.
Artemision shows up in multiple Final Fantasy games.
Oh, okay. I think Artemisia is also a term that comes up.
Cool.
The
yeah,
on,
I feel
the
like
on is new to me.
Moldorian.
By the way,
NBC.
if like the Google guy was busting out Moldorian, I
We'd
think
be
we would have had a
impressed.
different
Yeah.
response.
Yes.
So I think
I'd
this
have
is
to
a
look that up.
little. I think this is a little
No,
weird.
that's the fun of the game. That's the fun of the game. I love these words.
Yeah.
RPG.
That's an RPG.
Yeah.
It's an RPG for the Game Gear, dude.
Ooh.
That's how you have to dig to get a word we'd never heard of, you know?
Moldorian. How's that spelled?
Moldorian.
Molodorian.
Molodorian.
Oh.
Malborn.
Or
NPC.
NPC.
Yeah, it's the Skyrim NPC. Malborn.
Oh, okay.
Amatsu.
RPG.
NPC.
NPC.
I think too.
NPC in Monster Hunter Portable Third.
Iceborne. Shoutout.
Artelius.
RPG.
Yeah.
RPG. Yeah.
Jones, you're killing this
I
game.
think I'm
Yeah,
100%
John.
so
You
far.
want one
Yeah,
more?
sure.
All right. Let's,
I
to
take
Jones.
I take longer. I need to answer faster.
no, let's just let Jones see if he
Yeah,
can keep the streak
Jones.
going right here
Yeah.
with this one.
Beat the streak.
Underhill.
That's tough because that's from Lord of the Rings. That's Frodo's fake name when he
Yes,
goes.
it is.
So that's an NPC.
Yes, Jonesy!
Yes.
Whoa! Final Fantasy.
It's probably also an NPC in
Lord of the Rings
Lord
Online.
of the Rings Online.
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Love and Respect Olive. Fun game.
Wasn't
Olive.
that
Yeah,
somebody's...
Jones, 100%. I think it's my first 100%
game that history of time.
Yes. That was good, dude.
professional.
I want to play a second game. I want to know how far we can take Jones today.
Wait, real quick, was Underhill somebody's last name in Tabletop Adventures too?
Andrea Underhill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Andrea Underhill, Elise, right?
No.
That was Kyle, wasn't it?
Yeah. So what was
Andrew,
that little
it was
boy's
you.
name? I forget his name.
At least
Anyway.
it was Pervins. Whatever.
Pervin. Yeah,
It was
that's
absolutely
right.
Pervins.
Pervins.
Okay.
Legendary.
All right, let's do a cute one and then we'll play another game. The Boy Who Cried Huber. Hi, allies. I have a problem at the moment with Sekiro. I've been known at times to fall in love with games, movies, or songs to the point where now I'm getting really hyped and recommending a game, and some of my friends and family basically ignore me, saying, but you already said Witcher 3 or Dark Souls 3 was the best game ever. Huber and the allies, as the king of hype, any tips? Love and respect, Eric.
I've given up.
Okay.
Like with Beth especially, when I'm like, dude, this is seriously my favorite game this year. Doesn't believe me. Does not believe me anymore.
Yeah.
Like I've given up. Yeah.
I sympathize with this. I think part of the problem, and it's really easy to do when you want to do it because sometimes you just have that emotion where you're like, this is the best thing ever or the best type of this thing. But like in general, that language has lost its currency. Like it's not just you, everybody's here. Like people just, a lot of people and a lot of marketing talks that way now. And so I think if you want to get somebody's attention, you got to be a little bit more nuanced than this, where it's like, hey, have you heard about this thing or this moment or this mechanic or whatever it is? Or like you need to just tell a little bit more of a story with it.
Yeah, instead of hyping up Bloodborne, you hype up the Kirkhammer.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you. Particulars.
Yeah.
I have another crazy idea.
Okay.
Write this person a letter. Even if it's your friend or family member, write them a letter.
Dude, I love this, Kyle.
That will mean something.
Yes.
It would truly mean something to me.
Dude, I'm
if
writing Beth a letter.
You would play Sekiro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like
And get it sealed.
seal that letter.
Yeah.
notarized. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Goatee stamp.
Kyle, this is great.
This made me think of something really random. There's a Zen parable where an emperor gets a Zen monk to come and do like a calligraphy or like a transcription or a blessing, and the guy writes, grandfather dies, father dies, son dies, and the emperor gets all mad, and then the monk is like, what's wrong? This is the order that things should go in. If this happens, this is the happiest possible way. And so like I don't know why I thought of that, but like, should not every game surpass the previous games. Like every
Bonds,
new game
Naruto.
should be the best game ever because games should be getting better.
Yes.
Like that's just the
Generations.
order.
Ian,
of
do you know how
things.
many times you say stuff from Naruto? You secretly love Naruto.
I think Naruto secretly loves Zen Buddhism.
You know what? That might be right.
Okay. Yep.
You know what? That might be fair.
I also think it's distance for me. It's like if you literally like finished a game last night, if you were not calling you out because you finished Sekiro last night,
Yeah.
but like if you like case in point, I'm calling you out, Kyle.
What?
Right after that Mortal Kombat Old School New School trailer, you were like best trailer of 2019.
Yeah.
It's like give it some time. Think about call me tomorrow and we'll talk about.
I
it's
still
like,
think away. It's still the best.
Then I believe you more now today than I
Got you,
did
yeah.
in that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
If
hear
you have
you.
a little more time where at
Yeah.
least
Brandon.
one night's sleep.
Yeah.
Really, like think about another game and then think about this game again.
I hear you.
That's like a big thing for me. And that's one of the issues where I chuckle at you sometimes, Huber, because in the moment you're like,
Yeah.
you'll be playing something while we're streaming it. The controller's in your hand. You're like, this is the best combat,
Well, but also in the case of everything but Sekiro, it's the best. It's the
just
best so
cut
far
that man's
that
mic
year,
off.
and it will be surpassed. But Sekiro is just the best ever.
But you were also freaking out about the web slinging. You were like, is there a more fun thing to do
Yeah.
in 2018?
Grappling
and I was
hook.
like, I mean, yeah, if I give me 10 minutes, maybe I could think
I don't
about
know,
it. But then you
Jones.
kept bringing it up, and every
Yeah.
time, a week later, a month later, when you would come back to it, I'd be like, wow, this really, it really moved him. That's powerful. It got more powerful as more time passed.
When I mentioned on Twitter that I'd finished Sekiro, and people were like, okay, rank all the games. And I was like, all right, but like right now, Sekiro is my favorite one. I may feel differently a year from now once I've had a chance to process it a little bit more.
That still says something, though.
Yeah, it does. Exactly. And I think that's why I did it, is because I was like, no, like there's like, yeah, you should play this game.
All right, Jones, I'm going to make you work a little harder for this one. Hey, allies. What's that Pokemon move? Try to pick the correct attack from 3 choices based off the in-game description. All options are actual moves from the game. Okay. The target is attacked with a discharge of filthy gases. Is that smog, toxic, or belch?
Smog.
It's smog.
Oh, okay, cool.
Ooh, Jones was not going that way. Okay.
I was a little
Nice.
fuzzy on the rules. I thought you were gonna be naming Pokemon, and we had to guess.
Oh, no, we're just doing moves, dude. Just moves.
Got it.
The user reduces its polygon count to make itself more jagged.
Whoa.
Is that sharpen, lock on, or conversion?
Conversion.
Sharpen.
Ah.
That's Porygon.
Yeah,
Porygon's just
no, I
sharpening,
knew it was
Porygon.
Porygon.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what?
That one feels bad.
Well, no, because Porygon knows all those moves. That was the trick. That was pretty neat. Yeah.
Tricky.
The target is slugged by a punch thrown with muscle-packed power. Is that brutal swing, mega punch, or meteor smash?
Meteor
Mega
Smash.
Punch.
Mega punch. Meteor Smash is a move, dude. Like, we can still do that one.
Sounded familiar.
The user waggles a finger and stimulates its brain into randomly using nearly any move. That's how I host podcasts. Secret power, cosmic power, or metronome.
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 Metronome, waggling a finger.
Oh, right. Tick, tick.
You got to imagine Clefairy doing it. The user and the target become friends, and the target loses its will to fight. Is that let's snuggle forever, charm, or play nice?
I'm just saying let's
I'm
snuggle
gonna say charm.
together.
Let's play nice.
Ah.
Can
Let's
we
snuggle
retcon
forever.
it to be let's snuggle?
Hubert, it's so cool. It's a Mimikyu. Do you know like the ghost that tries to look like Pikachu?
No.
Okay, so there's a ghost who like tries to look like Pikachu. It's a whole Pokemon in itself.
Yeah.
What it does is it grabs you under its like cloak, its costume, beats you up, and then throws you back out. And it's called Let's Snuggle Forever.
Whoa.
And it
That
takes you
is
like
messed up.
some
Yeah, that's
demonic
messed
woods. Yeah, it's really really cool. I love Mimikyu.
That was one of the most affecting things when I first started playing Pokemon. I was like, who is that guy?
Yeah, you're right. It's part of the story. Even you have to
Yeah.
take a picture. Yeah. The user gets all party Pokemon to attack the target. Is that beat up, double team, or revenge?
All out attack.
Double team.
Revenge.
Beat up.
Oh.
Double
It's
team
all-
is
all
that's
out
like
attack,
an evasion thing.
Did I get
What's
it right?
that?
Persona.
Naturally.
Well, all out attack, yeah.
All out attack. The user alters its cellular structure to liquefy itself.
T1000.
Is that soft-boiled, liquidation, or acid armor?
Liquidation.
Liquidation.
Right?
No, it's acid armor.
Acid armor.
T1000. Wait, is it 1000 Slime Man? That's T1000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the other one, Kyle?
3000?
What's the original? No, what's Arnold? What's his model?
He's
I said it today, actually.
T2 Hundo. It's my guess.
800, isn't he?
Yeah, you got it.
800?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, so it's barely better than him. Like, it has goo powers, but it's just not even
Yeah,
that
the
more
T200 is probably like a toaster.
Liquid metal.
Bum, 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 bum.
The user attacks by giving the target a gift with a hidden trap. Is that called natural gift, present, or trick or treat?
Trick or treat.
I wish it's present.
Ah.
A hidden trap and a present. This is why they don't animate the moves. Can you imagine a Pokemon game where they actually like animate that thing?
Is it just? I can't remember the name of that bird. Is it just that bird Pokemon that primarily uses present? Why can't I think
Delibird.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I think it is just Delibird.
Okay.
Correct us if we're wrong there. Has no effect whatsoever. Easy one. Struggle, flail, splash.
Struggle.
Struggle, yeah.
Splash.
Oh, sorry.
Splash.
Oh my gosh, it's splash. It's a
Magikarp's
splash.
move.
It's
Yeah,
splash.
yeah.
It's splash. Of course, it's splash.
Ian, did you have a Magikarp?
No effect.
Yeah.
I got
You're making them
Magikarp in
struggle.
Let's Play, yeah.
It's splash.
Cool.
No, that was
And
the
I
easiest
upgraded
one.
Wait, you evolved
There's
your
a
Magikarp?
lot of moves, man.
Yeah, into,
Don't beat
No,
yourself up.
Gyarados or whatever.
Don't double team on yourself.
What's
I-
his name?
Gyarados.
Yeah,
It's weird,
Gyarados.
Brandon, because like when it comes to trivia, like I don't like take anything with me. I'm not like mad, but like I get really into trivia.
Yeah.
Way too much, man.
We got two more.
Okay.
Two more left. Redemption chance.
All right.
The user, Pikachu wearing a cap, powers up a jolt of electricity using its Z power and unleashes it. Is that 10 million volt thunderbolt, Pika Papow, or Catastrophica? Catastrophica.
It's the first one.
It is the first
I think
one.
so, yeah.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That wasn't from Let's Go. That was from Sun
That's
and Moon,
from
right?
Sun and Moon.
Yeah, the
yeah.
Z
Yeah,
powers.
that's
yeah,
the only
yeah.
one that Z powers. Okay.
This move can be used only after the user has used all the other moves it knows in battle.
This is struggle.
Desperate attack.
It is not.
No, wait, what?
It is.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I should know this. It's driving me nuts. Okay, after all. Wait, if it's used all of its other moves, it struggles.
You have it's an attack. This is an attack that you have. And you have to use all the other moves in your
Yeah.
These were multiple choice a second
Yeah.
ago.
No, they are. I just should know this. Is
Last Resort.
okay.
It's a move called Last Resort.
When you use last resort, does it
This
say
is
like
what-
the dude struggles?
No, struggle is when you run out of PP.
So hard not to, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what I was messing it up
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
All right.
One time I had an Ambipom. I taught it 2 moves so that I could use Last Resort on the second turn. Not very strategically viable, but it was fun. Love and respect, high speed cart ram. Thank you.
The Pokemon games are the best ones. I just want to throw that out there.
The best of games.
Yeah, even when like I do trash at them, I have a good time.
Yeah, I hear you. This comes to us from Shoutout to Yoko Taro. Can I get a shout out for Yoko Taro?
Shout out!
Wow.
Shout out.
Keep working.
Give that man whatever he wants.
It
well,
is-
maybe not whatever he wants.
Yeah, what does he want?
Yeah, like the second I said that, I was like,
seems to
wait
be
a
someone
minute.
who like enjoys limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, with like the Drakengard games, it
Yeah.
kind of seems that way.
Like if he like couldn't find his pants, he'd just be like, "I'm going to work anyway. I don't
Yeah.
care." You know?
It's now time for bets. So we got a weird one.
I just Googled what does Yoko Taro want, and the first result says, the world is chaotic, not me. Near Automata's Yoko Taro.
The world is chaotic, not me. I get it. It's not right. It's time for bets. Next week's bet. Yoshi's Crafted World comes out Friday, March 29th. What we're going to do next week, we're opening twitch.tv. We're going to look at Yoshi's Crafted World. We're going to open up based off, they're sorted by viewers. The first first stream we hop into where there are, Yoshi is in a level. We're going to look at that.
Ranked by views from top down.
Yeah.
So the most popular. Then if that doesn't
Yeah.
apply, then the next one.
Yeah,
So-
if most popular is like hanging out on the world map, sorry, bud, we're moving on.
Yep.
How many eggs will be trailing behind that Yoshi? Jones.
None. 0. Zilch.
Okay, all right. Ben.
4.
Huber.
0.
I said 6. Ian.
I said 1.
Okay, let me lock those in.
You know what's funny is we are very respectful. Let it be known on bets that we don't, look at other people's scores intentionally.
Yeah.
But like, I still heard Huber writing his, and I heard. And I was like, that's a 0.
But he actually put a line through it.
He did later, but
I would have thought that's a 9.
I
Oh,
heard
it
the
came
trace.
later.
I
Gotcha,
actually
gotcha.
saw Huber carefully draw it, but I had already written my bet at that point, so it was okay.
Me too, is what
Yeah.
so it's
Hard to
it's
disguise a year.
Yeah, that's a 0.
I try to like just go fast.
Yep. So I wanted there to be 6 actually, because that means we get that point. 'Cause if
Yes.
it's 0. Then,
Otherwise, we split it. Yeah.
everybody wins. We can't have that.
Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice was released on Friday, March 22nd. How many samurai prosthetics totally will be in the game? We know.
Yeah.
We know it's not samurai prosthetics.
I don't want to know this.
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't know this answer.
Hey, if you don't want to know the answer to this, like,
Oh,
see
I
you,
see why you
see you
did
next
Also,
week.
you guys did say Shinobi prosthetic before the episode. I just want that to be known.
So that it was completely my
You just
my bad.
misspoke in the episode.
Okay, got you.
It's okay.
Jones, you bet 10. Brad bet 12. Damiani bet 11. I bet 11. Ian, you bet 12. Again, your last chance. If you care about this, we'll see you next week. The actual number of Shinobi prosthetics is 10. Jones nailed it.
Nice.
Brad sent me a text. He's like, hey, I got the trophy for finding them all. So it was certain at that point.
Am I clear?
One more second. And also to the people who are like, hey, play by the rules. You said samurai. Jones would have won as well. Because 10 is closest to 0. He had the low bet. And we're good.
All right.
We're good.
Who won it?
Jones nailed it on the spot.
Nice.
He knows his Sekiro.
Nice.
Yeah. He was feeling something.
See how well I know Sekiro when I get back and playing it tonight.
That brings our scores to Scrappy Little Pig 7. Gorgeous Gorillas 5. Because there was the guy at the meetup who, like, he did a pig noise, right? And it wasn't like, it was like, oh, that's probably what a pig sounds like.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to, like, find, like, what does a pig actually sound like?
What does pig?
You're also not feeling well, so that's your sick pig impression.
Yeah, sick peg. Bro, sick peg.
Bro, you want to come play Sekiro and check out my sick peg?
Yeah, I was just going to drop by Jamal's place because he's
There
got
are
a
sick pigs
peg.
in Bloodborne.
Bloodborne
There
has
are.
sick pegs.
They
have,
are
like, snot.
sick
They
pigs.
have like
yeah.
a snotty
They're
noses.
not doing good.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to mention that we're on patreon.com/easyallies. URL to check out if you want to know more about the Easy Allies and more about how you can support us. $5 and up tiers on that website. Those people get this podcast 2 days early and also submit to our goofy segments. Speaking of which, I have bad news. Came in during podcast halftime. You know that wizard Kasarara who hates us?
Yeah, this isn't bad news. This is just news now. This just happens now.
It just, like every week, it seems like.
Right.
Like he
Doesn't
doesn't
seem
stop.
like it's every week, Kyle.
Yeah. Sent me an IM. He says that he's got a new ingredient for his cauldron.
Okay.
One guy does the voice for every character.
I mean, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that guy.
What I am.
What
client are
an
you using?
opportunity to be in this game. That's probably going to be the biggest headline coming from this horrible game that he's going to build.
Is the one guy?
Yeah, people are going to be like, it's really bad. There's all these issues with it. But did you hear one guy did all of those voices?
We'll
Like,
see.
Wow.
Ben, it's AOL. I'm on AOL. So,
What's your screen name?
Jones, you won, dude.
I did.
You get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote. You get to have the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head. It looks like you got that locked and loaded right now. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
You can follow me at Trailer Jones. You should check out the Mysterious Monsters Mash. There were difficulties in bringing that to you live on Saturday night when we intended, but we did premiere it on Twitch. It is on YouTube right now. Michael Huber absolutely slayed it. I'm so happy that
He's the
here to
host. He's a
congratulate
game
him
show host.
One more time.
Yeah.
We all did our part to be on stage and to bring you an anniversary to celebrate 3 years of being Easy Allies. But the game show aspect of itself, and of course Ian, putting all of that together and singing as well, and Jason Wishnoff for building the game. and sprinting down from GDC to be with us at that special event.
When he says building the game, he means like the software backend.
When you see, the sound effects, the animation, all of the stuff that goes into the actual game that is scoring everything and giving people the gold to buy items and all of that.
Imagine Nick Arcade. It's a game show with a strong video component.
And it was fun. It was very Wizard of Oz to be like behind the curtain and see him like with the computer. I hadn't seen the back end of that.
Sure.
I'd never been in that room when the game was being played, and so that was very, very fun to watch. A very fun experience. And thank you to everybody, not only that celebrated our anniversary with us last weekend, but that helped us get to 3 years. Year 4 begins now. Here's the thing. If at the Academy Awards you're going to give out an Oscar for like most people to sit in a theater to watch your film, or like best theater you were at, or longest line out of the theater, then you might have a point, Spielberg. But if theaters have absolutely nothing to do with the awards being given, if I'm reading a script for best screenplay and it's like, yeah, but was this in Phoenix? Can we check if this was in Phoenix? Because this is a really good script, but I really need to know what air-conditioned dark room people actually watched this in, because when you're at home it just really dwindles it. You know what I mean? All the moments you've been at home watching your TV shows and your films, it just really takes away from it. You know what I mean? It is the most absurd thing. I am livid about this because when he made that statement, I was like, I respect this man a lot. This man has made me so happy in my life that it's difficult for me to get frustrated by this, but I am frustrated. And then for just smug Spielberg to come out on that Apple stage, I went to Twitter and I was like, I'm going to talk about this on Twitter. And 50,000 people already got ahead of me and were like, that is absolutely ridiculous. The man's an auteur, but it's extremely incorrect in this case. But I still love you, Spielberg, and hopefully it's never too late to turn around and do the right thing. Cheers.
They have like this set number of times that they have to keep sneezing.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. River Horse, Able Gamers, Car Keys Express, El Fennis, Fangamer, The Hashcast, Hogue Law, Mango, Sweet Justice, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Zotig, JoJo's Dentco, Oh Yes Cool Great, Accounts Payable, Gift of Heaven, Woof Woof Games, Yoltmain, Nick, Walker Hope, Sam G, Will Schmuck, Michael Yao, Bradley Spees, Jay Shee, Paolo Costabel, Jake Musser, Richard G. Flowers, Dave Red, Zachary Wingate, Jan Tyson, Professor Metal Gear, Michael Bisegli, Ken Lair, Corey Jackson, Dan Sebring, David Balfour, Andrew Reif, Sigma, Tim O'Keefe, Ethan R.C., Mick Roper, Robert Stoffel, Mylene LaPearl Vanass, Damnable Nook, Anti-Ataraxia, Alley Cat, Happy Gaming, Demos Clay, Chum Nguyen, Discarded Digit, Thomas Wigginton Jr., Matthew Pauling, Gino A. Leet, Blue, James Vitt, Jason A. Sackle, Luke Bennett, Candy Coated Thorns, 44 Stars, Jenny Markula, G. Levin, G. Ken, Stephen Thomason, Yasser Kerbushi, Hitman 47, Ryan Anderson, Matthew Brown, Colt Doss, Marcel Giru 17 Froelich, Samsa Stormbomb, Alex AI, Phoenix Doss, Niz Klojgard, Peter Davis, Rack, John Burns, Flahaven, Brad Lohman, DRD 7 of 14, Brad Grenz, Todd Yurkovic, Joe Burns, Patrick Chong, Sam Handrick, Andy Drew, Lars Berger, Jordan Kirk, Steve Fallon, Stephen Last, The Banana Forklift Killer, Joachim Morovuo, Miguel Rivas, Calvin Hartanto, Marcel Markov, Joe Frantic, David Wen, Jesper Lawson, Oni Blackmage, Matthew Holcomb, Daryl Schramm, Brent Phillips, Catherine Lai, Gary James, John Santoro, Neuromod, Robert Crouch, Mikhail Aniel, Ulf himself, Jeffrey Ruchtenwald, Rainier Dennis Bautista, Wavering Radiant, Scott Adams, V8 Dave, Leroy Anderson, Ritz 1906, Eric Gustafson, Paul Sway, Toasty Soul, Christian Hundorf, Alex Lavanier, Daniel Fuchs, Tony Knox, Isun Chor, Forrest, Caleb Ledoux, Mike Hook 1, Vilar, Mauricio Fuentes, Token Gamer, Quick Scares, Ian Ladarzik, Brian Foster, The Classiest Hobo, Vokaiser, Madman Kevin, Zintrax, Corey Landega, Unlucky Irish, Modrin, Paul Bishop, Travis Miosi, Carl Williams, Jalen Scott, Jake in Japan, Nick Waterman, Brandon White, Sean Mackey, Gabriel Aberg, Morpheus, Sean M. Gabaldon, Reed Johnson, Joe Rutsky, Nergal131, Manuel Thomas, Peter Wen, Adam Sharonbrock, Not Jack, Kurzastav Rogowski, Volker Bach, James Vest, Allison Burt, Ryan Feller, Jesse Ray, Bjornar Haraldsvik, Blake Bonsack, Sean Day Almeida, Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia, Kiraz, Robert Aresti, Trizac, Wouter DeHaze, Matthew Holmes, Eric Maynard, Fabian Winkler, General Piet, Hassan Kiat, Leon Keys, Raymond Lee, Clay Roberts, JC3, Adam Lindsay, Shiana Metz, Todd Paxton, Faraz Rizvi, Andreas Bard, Jared Wheeler, Jeff Easton, Dakota Hayes, Zoostick, Don Turner, Masuki211, Alexander Zirianov, Aaron Kurt, Jesse Fish, Paul Nolson, Jason Joint, Edison S. Prada Jr., Alexander Breveglieri, Sarah Wampler, Travis Ing, Ahmad Al-Rashed, Butt Puddin, Tuttle, Furious Action Gamer, Jonathan and Amy Alconis, Stuart Siddall, Michael Schreiber, G-Sith, Mac Reed, Haley Hill, Andrew Stoke, Matt Gunther, There Is No Dana, Only Zool, Evan Eng, Joshua Vanswall, Bites and Brews, 1D10 The Show, Francisco Esparza Jr., Kyle Quintero, Sebastian Trier, Aurelian Grenier, Michael Pliskin, Bonnie and Jason Connor, James Watson Jr., BBC Chan, Wenbo Sean, Stephen Walther, Matt, Kevin Camposano, Carlos Zuniga, Diggles, Ryan Cohen, XWF Outlaw, Ibrahim Sozer, Jack Cullen, Momo Rashid, Rickard Enbaum, Michael Clendenan, Bread Roll Art, Sean German Efficiency Clinton, S Snake 24, Lee Young, Timo Yeager, Lindsay Wells, Hayden Hargraves, Eddie Reisner, Chase Caldwell, Halkin Stirs and Stirs, Nicholas Kroboth, Barry, Mikey Mizek Novak, Richard A. Paskvin, Joey Din, Luca Martini, Adam Henry, Chris Hall, Ms. Racy, Beautiful Kai, Sean Rowe, Caffeine Rage, David Kennedy, Durgesh Patel, Michael Lay, Kenneth Brosius, Mike Calvi, Anthony Daniel Galvin, Daniel Wong, Hadi Ali, Jameson Anderson, Noah Weinstein, Vincent Foliat, Hutchitron, Ahab, Neobear, Sebastian Olson, Matthew Migler, Santiago Carrillo, Alex Glass, Junya Motomura, Delisi, Tim Strothman, Mither Strongbeard, Daniel Data, Nycrypt, Alan Griffin, Mons Anderson, Ivan Skogheim, Jay Aliar, Morgan Worth, Sam Sorensen, Awesome Express, Shahir Khan, Matt Ferguson, Vishal Singh, Daniel Solorzano, Felipe Aguilera, William Heaney, Krista Lundmark, Tim Mann, Chris the Pianist, Michelle Nubb, Michael Stevens, Sandra and Richard Acero, Andrew Smith, Battleox, Tiana Salazar, Randy Blakely, Pablo Rodriguez, Matthew Colomb, Stephen N. Parker, Jordan Phillips, Mick Malloy, Philip Klarskov Jensen, Sun Pham, David Amaro, Alex Monaco, Jacob Lobaum, Arthur Henrique Chinaglia, Zach Kaczynski, Jameson Lapine, Nuno Amaral, David Boyarski, Rahiv Maharaj, Ryan Wagner, Peter Cerny, Joachim Wiederberg, Christopher Santis, Andreas Koter, Egg Stravaganza, Gali Gutierrez, Chris LaRue, The Fatty Show, Tender Brew, Jason Shields, Mohamed Saber, Sud Almasafar, Stephen Cassell, Remy Loisel, Michael Kozachenko, Michael Bologna, Pete Shoemaker, Repas Edud, Irvin De La Torre, Max Harms, Straw Hat Ninja, Cyberboa, Christoph Fatui, Azazel Valkyrie, GW Fox, Alexander McGeekern, Jeffrey Murillo, Mazrim Tain, Chris Bennett, Liam Ahern, Guillaume Robillard, Crediar, Jesse Vitelli, A Pack of Puppies, V. Kira Ray, Tristan Howard, Jason I, Ronka Q, Chris Cornett, Andy Marks, Jeremiah Snowden, Materia Addict, Robert I, Will Arrowwood, Tyler Wallace, Julius Garcia, Blaster Master, Gustav Strombohm, Christoph Packlinger, Nefertiti Jenkins, Malcolm Moschette, Adam, Cal, Joel Olson, Quinn Riley, Robert Ori Einerson, Christopher Donnelly, Michael Rebelato, Matt Karwoski, Patrick, Logan Young, Trevor Thomas, Toby D. Rymanschneider, Matthias Clare, Self-Imposed Illegitimate Child, Joel Short, Marco Hernandez, Magnus Rasmussen, Todd Vedvik, Clinton Hayes, Seyun Kim, Struggler, Randall Crittenden, Jose Gutierrez, Tense George, Dominic Brown, Sal Ramon, Chad McIntosh, Bunny Chen, Isaac Swanson, Joey and Kate, Raymond Chow, Kari Carrison, Ian Anderson, Zahid Hosseini Karami, Dan Pan 16, C.S. Lewis, Origachino, Splontot, Jana, Roy Sung, Kim Monk Vonderleith Haagensen Petersen, Colin Hoylman, Reed Marlett, Thorfkin, Jethrin, Max His Shame Turman, Shanley Ladia, Rerun, Linson Wu, Luis Ibarra, Philip Higdon, James Brown, Max Cannon, Spencer Stevens, Supernova Smith, Russell Bateman, BM5, Richard Gunther, Jesse Blue, Ivan Ponce, Jay Potter, Christopher A. Butler, John Prey, Sean Essen, Sebastian Urban, Matt Ford, Marco Zanone, Alec Church, Culinary Stud.